So Matthew, sorry I missed that, dude. Sorry, I'm just setting up. Let's have a look. Can I get the chat back up? There we go. Oh, you started a new job. Oh, cool. Was that like, what's that doing? Anything fun? Also, Matt, can you let me know how the music is, if it's too loud or too quiet? That'd be magic if you could. Let's just try and get the chat up on the other side. Sorry guys, I'm just getting set up a second. I'll make sure I mute myself as well. Music's perfect, magic. Cheers, Matt. How's the job then? What's up, everybody? How you doing? Magic, magic. Oh, thanks everybody for jumping in. Appreciate it. I'm just going to be drawing really, and then I think I might try and set up a possible palette and then share it to you guys somehow, and then we can somehow do like a little live draw along if you fancy doing something like that. But just thought I'd have a bit of a play on YouTube. Let me just try something a second. Just trying to make sure I can get the chat up on my computer in front of me as well as at the same time. Oh, cool. I can do that. Magic. I'm gonna draw a Ferris wheel today. Some sort of like fairground sort of illustration really. And fingers crossed, I'm not sure, this is the first time using YouTube, so in terms of live streaming, usually I draw, well I used to draw live on TikTok, so fingers crossed we can hopefully use the video afterwards. What's up, Bethany Sunderland, a new patron today. How you doing? Nice to see you here. Oh, Charlie, you lost your TikTok. Charlie, I haven't seen you for ages. Well, to be fair, I've not been live for a long time, so it's been a while. Cool, right, let me stop gibbering and let me get into some drawing. If you have any questions at all, anybody, feel free to chuck them in the chat and we'll go from there. What I would say is, if you want to try and follow along with the same sort of concept that I'm going to do, if you want to just drop a message in chat, say, listen, I want to follow along, by all means, let's do it. Let's draw along. Let's do it at the same time if you want. The only problem is that we don't have the palette available to everybody. So if you do want to grab your iPad or set this all up in a way that you can draw along with me at the same time, let's do that. And just let me know in the chat if you want to do that. It should be quite a nice fun one to do, to be honest with you. It should be nice and easy. Yeah, sweet. I'm not sure, I'm quite interested, Matt, to be honest with you, if like how that's going to work with the VOD afterwards, just see if I think you can like chop it up and change it and also all sorts, so should be good. Hi Lisa, how you doing? Hey, just a little hint, everybody, the new tutorial goes live in 45 minutes, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But I think I'm going to get started unless anybody else wants to follow along. But otherwise, I'm going to get started. I've got a few colours here. Ah, you're very welcome, Lisa. How's your day going? So, right, let me get started. So I've got like a nice little dark palette here. And we've got some really nice dark, deep purples and some deep blues in here as well. By all means, let me know if the music's too loud as well. I know everybody's pretty much said it's good, so fingers crossed it's not too much for anybody and you can still hear me. Cool, right, let's get started. So I want to draw a floor across the bottom here. So the main focal point in the middle in my mind is going to be a Ferris wheel. So I'm going to draw a little floor in here first, which, I mean, technically, let's add in the background gradient first. Drag that slightly lighter blue in. And then I'm going to add in this lovely purple I got here as well. I'm going to use the soft airbrush for this one. Just drag it across. I used to do, if anybody didn't know already, like I said, I used to do TikTok lives and draw live for everybody, which was pretty fun to do, but TikTok, I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with at the moment. So thought I'd try YouTube, as that is pretty much my home now, over here. So I've got a nice little gradient going there in the background. It's really nice with like the colours that are sort of bouncing up and out of the Ferris wheel and the fair. I'm going to create a new one. And then I'm going to draw a little floor across the bottom here with the original colour as well. Let's draw a straight line across. Drag that in. Now I need to try and bear in mind how big my Ferris wheel is going to be and also where I'm going to position it. So let's try and work that out now. I kind of want to do like a real like silhouette look to the front potentially, but I might change my mind because I've got some ideas on some colours that I'll use for that. So maybe I need a slightly darker version of this. Let's just pop that in the palette. And I'm trying to keep an eye on the palette as well, because if I end up ever doing a not a live, but a tutorial on YouTube for this, I can share the palette, or I could share it afterwards as Matt mentioned. So what I'm going to draw next is, once I've got my floor in, I'm going to have to try and like draw this as a tutorial like normal, so we may end up making some mistakes, but that's all good, it's all good. So the first thing I want to do is then draw in the sort of tripod of the legs, which are going to hold this up. Favourite theme park in the UK, it's got to be Alton Towers. I'm a big fan of Thorpe Park, but I haven't been to one for such a long time. Plus, you know, with COVID and stuff, you've not really had a chance. Plus, at the moment, I've seen some of the crazy queues as well. They look unbelievable. So that's actually too thick, way too thick. I'll reduce that down about 50%. And let's try and draw that in. Something like that's actually pretty good. Going to keep my angles all correct. I've done it on the same layer. There you go. That's the problem with doing it live. Let's create a new layer and let's draw it. I'll probably delete the void, I'm not sure. I'll see how it goes. See how many mistakes we've made. Have I ever been to India? I have not. I have not, but I've got quite a lot of my in my YouTube analytics I can see that there's quite a lot of fans from over in India, so that's really cool to see. So there's the legs. I'll position that roughly there somewhere. Let's create the sort of circles now for, let's actually make that a slightly lighter colour. Let's go like a darker purple. Alpha lock it and fill it. Do I like that, do I not? Well, I don't, let's leave it as it was. So now I'm going to draw in the circle now. I'm going to draw three circles I need. I'm going to need a centre circle. Switch that colour back and also lower the size down. I'm going to go for about 20% on this one. Just draw in a little circle here in the middle, put my finger on the screen, get a little perfect circle in the middle. So I want one roughly around about this big, and then position that as well over the point of that. Let's draw another one. So I was literally just doing some gardening, which is probably why I'm a bit sniffy. My hay fever's been going wild, and I thought, I'll tell you what, we're meant to have some friends over, but they're not coming now, so we can let's jump on YouTube, let's do a live. I've not done a live in a long time. Where'd you get your ideas from? Pinterest is really good, Julie, and I always try, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but there's a app called Sketchaday. It's on iOS, I'm not sure if it's on Android, but Sketchaday is awesome. It's so it gives you a topic every single day, and you have to draw that topic, and you can publish it there on the app, and you can, they have the same sort of concept as like Instagram, I guess. You get likes, you get comments, and I think you get followers as well. So Sketchaday is really good, but Pinterest, and I kind of have to sort of juggle a little bit what I know sort of everybody's going to want to see. So I kind of know at the moment that I've got quite like a space theme. I've got a bit of a maybe a reputation for it, I guess. And so I know I've got to try and juggle that sort of thing. So I'm always searching for content like that in the area I want to look for. So something, like that is always a good thing to start. So you've got somewhere to start with your thoughts. So now that's the circles done, I think that's about it. I want to get some ideas for my sort of spokes in here as well. So I'm going to have to add in a really cool radial glow in here, or radial assist even. Canvas, drawing assist, and edit the drawing guide. So I tell you what, if you are following along afterwards, obviously please bear in mind that I wasn't doing this with the intention of leaving it up, but I think having thought about it for a second, I think I will, so try and rewind if you get lost at all. Hey, no problem, Julie, no problem at all. So I'm going to use a radial assist here. I'll change it to white so everybody can see. Also, guys, what's the picture quality like? Is it any good? I'm very intrigued to see what because I see so many streams, obviously they constantly have a battle between Twitch and YouTube as to which one that they think they want to go with. So I'm always trying to think which one will I do it and how can I try and fit it into my schedule. I really would like one day when, fingers crossed if this continues to grow, I'm really struggling to get this right in the center here. That I, if I was able to do all this Procreate content full time, which, fingers crossed, if we keep putting the hard work in, it will pay off. We'll be able to, make this sort of a regular thing. I'd absolutely love to try and do it, like a Wednesday night or a Wednesday evening or something like that, a live draw along with me, so we can get everybody in, make sure, everybody's involved, and, especially the patrons as well, and that would be really cool. So picture quality is good. Oh, magic, like our YouTube videos. Ah, awesome, sweet. So the lighting must look pretty good then. Yeah, it looks quite good actually. Who else we got? Tally, how you doing? That's the picture quality. Oh, you love my, thank you very much, I appreciate that, Tally. How you doing? Cool. So what I'm doing now is I've drawn this in because I want to try and add my spokes in, but you don't want to do them all individually. It takes too long to do. So we'll go to the layers again, and under these layers, let's go here and start drawing in my spokes. So I'm going to make them a bit smaller, about 7 or 8%. If anybody has any other questions, please feel free to just chuck them in the comments. I'd love to answer any questions. Also, as a pretty green-eyed beauty just said, whereabouts is everybody from? I always love to see where everybody's from. And as always, I have not turned that drawing assist on, so let's make sure that is a drawing assisted layer and draw that layer back in. I used to love hearing it on TikTok, where everybody was from, because it's just mental, all of this, like just finding everybody can find you. As I said earlier, a couple of fans over in India as well. We've got Tally from Canada, pretty green-eyed beauty from Virginia. I've got quite a lot of followers from the States. So I'm going to swipe on this layer, I'm going to duplicate it. And because we've already drawn them in, I want to put those lines again in the gaps in between. And the quickest way to do that is then just go to the cursor and just rotate. And then you're sort of not cheating, but it's a very quick and easy shortcut there. And I need to put it at 22.5 degrees to make sure that the gaps are all perfect, the same. Then we end up with our Ferris wheel. So if I turn off the drawing guide, we end up with all of our spokes in there, which looks really cool. Nice little quick tip. Saudi Arabia, I mean, look at that. Scotland as well. Obviously, you're probably pretty happy, I guess, about football yesterday. I'm obviously not. But it is what it is. T-Bean as well from Canada. T-Bean, hang on, let me just click on your profile. Are you the one that commented earlier? So, I'll tell you what. I'm going to give some little insight now into sort of my mindset. Because I want to continue to grow, and I want to also, I'm going to be, let's get not a bit deep, but let's just have a bit of a conversation. I know I got very lucky with YouTube. I got very lucky with TikTok. All of this, all of my channels, my Instagrams and everything like that were all made in, I started a TikTok which started all of this off at December 31st. And I know over a 6-month period, I've got extremely lucky. So before I carry on, yes, I'll leave the video up. I'm not sure if I can edit it at all. So there's obviously a lot of talking with chat. So I'm not sure how I want to leave it on the channel, but yeah, sod it, let's just leave it. But Julie, we didn't get Thrash for a change, yeah. Tracy, good to see you, how you doing? I appreciate that, Matt, thank you. But admittedly, yeah, it's a lot of hard work. I've put a lot of time in, but anyway, I know I've got very lucky with that. So what I want to do is, give, like I said again, give you some mindset. I really, I want to do something for everybody else. I want to create maybe a podcast or something like that. And I'm not sure if it is, but I think somebody, it might have been T-Bean here, I can't remember who's in the chat with us. Somebody like their name or profile picture, I can't remember, someone close. They have a YouTube channel as well. And T-Bean, let me know in the chat if you do have your YouTube channel. But he or she, they have their own YouTube channel, and their content is really good, but the views are not there. And I want to give everybody in a similar sort of area as me a stepping stone. I want to give everybody a helping hand in some way. I want to somehow create a podcast or something like that where we end up maybe interviewing a smaller creator on the podcast. Let's just give it a podcast, or the video, whatever it may be. Interviewing them, asking them, just getting to know them a lot more, but using it as a stepping stone so that they can then also grow, get some attention, and then obviously build up a podcast at the same time. So it kind of balances it out a little bit between what I get out of it and what they get out of it. But there are so many talented people that just don't have that very quick itch, or quick rise that they sort of deserve. And so I think I want to do that, and I would absolutely I'd love to get Tati on there, Drug-Free Dave. I mean, these are people that you should all be following anyway. Drug-Free Dave on he's got an awesome Facebook group for Procreate tutorials. Drug-Free Dave, Tati, get Flo on there if possible. She's the queen of all of this. And not just those guys, not just the ones with the big numbers. Again, that'd be really cool to get them on as well, but a smaller mindset for the smaller creators. So that's where I'm at. Fingers crossed I can cut this out of this video, because obviously that's quite a big reveal, but you guys are all here, so I appreciate you doing that. So anyway, let me get back to this. So that's what I want to do. That's how I want to grow. I want to, again, I've got constant ideas for the occasion that, let's say this eventually does go full time. How can I do better? How can I create new content that's not out there, or I believe should be out there? So I'm creating a vertical symmetry line here, because I'm about to draw in the sort of cabins for this as well. So can I actually? Oh no, I can't write in the chat at the same time. But yeah, I'll put some comments somewhere, or I'll pop them. Yeah, I'll put it in the description if I can change it afterwards. So right, let me draw in my Ferris wheel cabin now. So yeah, so that's my sort of mindset. There's loads of great people and great talented people out there, so why not help people out as well? As always, this layer is not drawing assisted, so let me turn that on. I'm drawing 2 straight lines down for either side and move across. Brett, how you doing? I'm very good. How are you? I've been gardening a little bit this afternoon, only a little bit. I've watched the F1 quali earlier on as well, so that went pretty good for my what's it called, fantasy F1 team. So that was pretty good. Other than that, I'm good. I'm really good. My hay fever's going a bit wild, can't lie, but so I'm just drawing a little arc here and then filling that in. So some sort of cabin like this at the top. But how long have I been drawing on Procreate? I hit a year on Procreate 2 weeks ago, I think it was, which is just mental, isn't it? Mental. It's gone very quick. So now I want to draw in this cabin, but I want to draw in like a straight line here, and as always, this is not drawing assisted, so let's turn that on. So you guys are getting a bit of a reveal now of the stuff I end up most likely going through a lot of the time when it comes to shooting these videos. And then obviously I cut a lot of it out. Now a lot of it I probably couldn't put on YouTube. It's a bit too explicit. When you make too many mistakes, you get a bit too frustrated, but it's all good. So I'm just drawing in a little cabin here, some sort of shape like this. Drag it in. Like I said, afterwards, if I feel that the VOD afterwards isn't really up to par, I'll delete it, or not delete it, I'll just redo it. So that's my little cabin over on the left hand side. Most of the time these like live videos are just me trying to draw. I want to draw. I want to just come on and I want to just say hello, I want to have a chat. let's all have a chat. So how do I want to lay these out? I kind of need to make sure that they're in front of the lines to an extent. Also, are they too big or too small? Maybe a tad too small. Let's just position that on the edge like so. And I'm going to very quickly adjust all the colours of them so I can see. I'm going to make it this light blue colour. Actually, I tell you what, let's go for the other colours. Let's fill this one in red so I can see my layers I need to adjust. And drag and drop this in here. What is that happening? Let me keep an eye on the chat. I love the draw along. It's so surprising that you make things so easy. I appreciate that. It takes a little bit of time to try and, I've got to draw all these things out a lot of the time beforehand, and that takes a little while. But what happened here with the layers? But yeah, I'm always trying to look at it and go, how can I simplify this? How can I cut a step out or two? And I don't want to all the time cut them out to the point where all my draw along with me's become too easy. You know, stamp, stamp, stamp. I do want them to have some sort of level of difficulty because I want to appeal to everybody. So I know some people, you know, like the easier ones, but some people I also know will want the slightly more challenging videos. And that's kind of a constant battle, if I'm honest, that I'm constantly trying to achieve, you know, trying to make sure that to an extent everybody's happy. But I think we've got a good balance at the moment, which is nice. What did I miss there? How long does it take you to create a video for YouTube? I mean, with the editing. So again, if I was to ever make this full time, editing would be the absolute first thing that would be out of the window. I would be getting somebody employed to do it. For me personally, so I can see actually a second here that my cabins are starting to get really low, so I'm going to have to maybe extend the legs here as well in a second. But that would be the first thing that would leave. I would get rid of the editing. Now, I'll explain why. I don't mind it in terms of, you know, actually doing it, or like it's easy to do. But the problem is it just takes up so much time. So I end up, obviously, I have to come up with a design first. Then I redraw it again straight away. Because when I draw something like right now, I don't know where I'm going with it. I might do things that I've not sort of practiced or rehearsed at all. And so you end up doing things that you maybe forget about, and then when I redraw it again. I make sure I redraw it so that I know the steps that's involved to get from A to B, and also eliminate some of the steps where I made, you know, mistakes and whatnot. So then I have to shoot the video, which, you know, can take up to an hour's worth of time to shoot it, and then editing takes just slightly longer than it takes to shoot it, because you've got to watch it all the way through, cut bits and bobs out, and then you've got to then cut all the bits and bobs out, and then export it and then upload it. So in reality, I know it's a long-winded answer there, but probably takes about, in editing wise, probably can take anywhere up from an hour to 2 hours to do. Group all these ones together. I'm not sure this is going to make a very good tutorial to follow along with, so I think I'm going to just definitely do a follow-up on it. But if you are following along, you are ace if you manage to do that. Have you been drawing for many years? So my day job is to I prototype and design apps for a living. So that's my day job. So that involves using Photoshop. And a lot of the rules of Photoshop apply to this, believe it or not, in terms of the structure of it, you know, layers, some of the layer effects, except the only difference is you're hand drawing everything. So we have that sort of challenge there. But otherwise, I'll tell you what, I'm going to delete that actually, that side, because I want to do yellow in here, in these other ones. And I don't actually like the colours of them too much. But yeah, the sort of same rules apply from my day job to this, so that's always quite handy and useful. So what am I doing here? What am I trying to achieve? Because I'm not really a fan of the colours of them just yet. I think it's too much colour. I might silhouette them, I'm not sure. Because I don't know where I'm going with the rest of this yet. That's the problem. So this is where you end up having to like balance this all out. But so I was using, now see if anybody knows this website. If you can tell me what Bebo was, then you'll know what Bebo skins were. And I used to make Bebo skins for fun, you know, as a kid, probably about 10 years old, 10 up till something, I don't know, when did it shut? About 15? 10 to 15 years old. And they used to get loads of traction all the time. I used to make like football related ones. They were like super easy to do. But send me Bebo love. Yeah, and you had like your top friends on Bebo, all that sort of stuff. It was wild. You couldn't do that now because people would just get so upset. Hang on, my computer's just turned off and you were all on there. But yeah, people would not know. Trying to guess, oh hang on 2 seconds. Trying to guess how old you are from your voice. How old are you? So I know how good I am at it. Lol, Bebo was awesome. Do you want to have a guess? You can have a guess if you want. Let's have a little quick quiz before I carry on with that. How old do you think I am? Now some of you lot might actually already know this because of like Patreon and stuff, I think. Anyway, let me try and get on with this. Tally, you're taking the mic, aren't you? 40? God, we have got some varying ages here. 17, 40. I think Tally's just he or she's on a wind up there. Absolutely. 31. Two of you have got it correct, so God, that could actually be two different answers. I'm 27. My birthday is actually, what's the date today? 19th. My birthday is the middle of July, so not long. And I'm going to do a cake tutorial as well, birthday cake. So that'll be fun. Let's try and change some of these up before I forget and also keep nattering. So let's try and merge those two together, try and save some time. Let's fill that layer. Let's not fill that layer. Let's alpha lock it first. I love coming on Instagram Live sometimes, or not Instagram, it's TikTok, and now obviously YouTube today. I just get carried away with the chat, and then we end up just going so off track. Yep, 27, Brett. I'm 27, and my birthday is in July, so nearly the birthday month. So I'm merging these little layers together so I can just save on my layers for a start, and then also just filling in every other one with the yellow that I've got. So to be honest with you, I'll probably end up watching this back myself and then refine the process, and then end up creating another tutorial based off of it. So don't worry if it's going a bit too fast. Turning my layers on and off just to be sure. And fill that in. Let me catch up with the chat. Where we're going. Hey, no, it's fine. Tally, I'm only joking. I'm just messing. Truly. I know. Julie, it's wild, isn't it? I'm here practically in tears because Tally told me I was, how old? 40. So if I end up deleting Instagram tonight, YouTube, just take the whole lot down. We know who to blame. Okay? How many kidding? How many have we got here? We've actually got the wrong amount. No, we don't actually. We've got perfect amount. Oh, ideal. So I'm going to leave it as it is just here for a second because I want to add in some shading and I don't know where my lighting's going to come from just yet. So I'm going to I'm going to leave them as is for a minute because I want to try and work out where my lighting's going to come from. So I think obviously the lighting should come from the bottom, and I want to create some sort of like really simple beams of light that are going to go up into the sky. So Let's go here. I'm going to use the yellow I'm still using, so it's kind of consistent. Actually, tell you what, let's add in a really nice punchy purple and maybe make it a bit more brighter. So let's just create a little beam of light. Oh, that's going to look awesome. That's cool, that's cool. Let's do that. So let's go little beam up like that. And then I need to move it more central so I don't lose it in a second. I'm going to flip it horizontally. Tell you what, like I said, if everybody is happy afterwards, I could set up, well, not set up, but I could do a draw along with me, a live one if you fancy it. Once I've finished doing this, we can have some fun with that. What have I done there? Oh, that's one, of course. Yeah, so distracted. I promise I'm actually, like, you know, I actually do this, you know. There's a few mistakes happening, but it's all good. Tally, I am completely joking. Please don't take offence, I'm only messing. I think, and look at that, fade that out, nice little beam of light there into the sky, that's going to look really cool. And I think maybe we just flip it horizontally as well, we duplicate it and flip it to the other side as well, in that case. Move that across. Something like that. That's good. Let's just make sure this one is also perfectly horizontal. This is a huge tip, really, is making sure that your content is perfectly in the middle of the canvas. It is such a big thing to try and make sure you're consistent with, because otherwise you're ruining sort of the line that your eye's going to follow, as well as just symmetry. Like, that's just the simplest thing you can do. That's why I'll keep reiterating in my tutorials, just to make sure that you turn snapping on. If you can get these orange lines perfect every single time, it's just gonna, you don't realize it, but having something slightly off to the left or slightly off to the right, it can change the whole design in terms of how somebody's eye looks at everything. Whereas if you keep everything nice and symmetrical, it should look pretty bang on, and that's what you're trying to aim for. So that's looking pretty good, actually. I don't know how I'm going to sort of cover up the bottom down here. I don't know whether to do like maybe some hills and then some grass in front, or leave it as is. I've not really considered how I'm going to do this yet. Maybe let's just try and work that out first, because then I can work out how to hide my lighting as well, and maybe even move the Ferris wheel up. So I'm going to group all my layers together as well. Try and group everything into one big Ferris wheel group. Oh, fingers crossed you're going to love the tutorial that's going up as well. That's that was really fun to make. Really fun to make. It's just going up in about 15 minutes, so fingers crossed you enjoy it. Right, so now I'm going to try and work out something here. I want to try and hide what I'm doing here in some way or some sort of fashion. So I think first of all I want to create a little gradient down here to show that there's more life and more lighting coming. So maybe in like yellow, I'm going to grab let's grab the monoline brush. This is always really fun to do. Do a straight line across and then just blur it. Just blur it completely out and you'll end up with a little bit of a glow. Maybe that's a bit too steep, something like that. And now I can use that as the lighting in behind and then draw in some sort of like hill or some sort of grassy front in front of it. Let's go and let's pick this blue for a second so I can see it. Let me check the comments, let me see where I went. I like seeing the mistakes from a pro, it makes me feel a lot better about mine. Yeah, when I'm doing my own stuff, I'm always, you're always undoing stuff and changing it. So Richard, I tell you why I use light mode. I use dark mode on everything. I hate using light mode, but for the camera with the lighting, if I end up drawing something like neon, because the bars are so white and bright, it throws the camera off, it throws the white balance off, it throws everything off. And for something like YouTube, and especially like when I used to do the TikTok ones, they don't allow you to fix those sort of values in place. So I use light mode, because the whole canvas is bright enough so that the lighting will always stay consistent. So it's mainly basically down to production, making sure that you guys can see everything nice and easily. Don't like that either. How do I want to do this? Maybe I'll just draw literally a straight line across. Drop the colour into here. And then let's draw some flicks of grass on the other side. I think I might even have a grass. There's a sword grass brush. Should we try this? No, too colourful. And also it doesn't. Let's have a look. Look at all of these brushes we've got. Let's try and have a quick look through these. I don't want to miss anything in the chat, so let me just have a quick look through this, see what we can find. I'm looking for like a grassy one. We've got Tati's collection here of brushes. Probably not use those. That doesn't really fit what I'm trying to look for. I'm just looking for like a bold piece of grass. Otherwise I'll just draw it in myself. Some great leaves in there, that's a good one. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that might even be, let's try this one. It's very repetitive. It doesn't, that's really annoying that it doesn't change. Let's try this. Let me just I don't want to miss the chat. Do you do live on Instagram as well? I've been live, I think maybe twice on Instagram. I do want to try and incorporate live into my routine again. It just takes so much time in terms of it. Also, believe it or not, it's just really unproductive, because like especially with TikTok, they have introduced it where you can get your video back, obviously like YouTube that Matt was mentioning a second ago. I can get all of this content back and like use it. So what I mean by that is, you guys can see on Instagram that I post my own drawings quite a lot, and if I'm drawing just for my own sake on YouTube and Instagram lives, if I can't use that content in any way afterwards, then to me as like, I guess, a content creator, if you want to call it that, there's not enough value in it to do so, which is kind of annoying, because TikTok has introduced it, but it messed up on me once and I'm not bothered going back. Let's have a look. I don't like dark mode personally. It's hit and miss. It's very hit and miss. Brett, just search Joel.create on Instagram, Tally. Oh, I see what you're saying, Tally, now. Yeah, I think Brett was kind of thinking the same thing initially, that do I live on Instagram as well? Do I have Instagram? So I'm just feathering this sort of nice little grass brush down here, just trying to break up the this little piece I've put in front here, because this is going to be used to hide quite a bit, and I might even move this up even further, something like that, and then I can adjust it all afterwards. That actually looks really cool. I quite like that. I'm going to drop it into that space there, and then adjust all my colours, because now I can I've got a nice, it's all about like trying to hide and mask stuff a lot of the time. Like, how can you go about hiding, not your mistakes, but hiding things you need to hide? How can you nicely just chuck all this lighting in behind here like this, and then how can we then move on from this point? So that's looking really cool. I like that. Looks nice. 18. This is too long for 18 minutes. I've been on here for 40 minutes, and this is how far I've got. I'm just chatting away. That's the problem. Right, so now I've got this done anyway. I've got all the grass in place. I think that looks quite good in terms of just simplicity. Let's try and add in this lighting. So the only problem I've got here right now is this lighting looks a little bit weird. I want to alpha lock that, and then maybe add in a slightly brighter, whiter colour towards the bottom of these beams, because they don't look quite right yet. They got a bit too much There we go, that's a bit better. So let me just, circular motion as always. You know I like to say that all the time. Something like that's good. Yeah, Brett, now you've seen it's taken 40 minutes, you're as disappointed as I am. So, okay, cool. So that's looking good. Let's try and think about what we're going to first of all put in the sky. Sometimes when I'm looking at the main part of the design, I like to just do the background. I like to just fill in the background, because to me, it starts to show where this is already going. It starts to show me how it's all going to come together. When I feel like, I don't know, the background's not in correctly, I don't particularly like it. So I'll tell you what I'm also going to do. I'm also going to do the same technique I've just done in my latest tutorial, which is going live in 10 minutes. Use the script brush, and then you just create these little S's across the screen. Something like that. That looks pretty good. And then you drag and drop the colour in. And then let's just create another one as well over here. And then drag and drop the colour in. And then you change it to overlay most of the time. And then lower the colour right down. And then you end up with these really cool night sky sort of lines in there. So that looks pretty cool. I drew a cartoon frog and it took me 8 hours, 40 minutes as a result. Oh god. Is that a tutorial, Julie? And we've got Riddy Van in here from Germany. How you doing? Ooh, it's Germany, Portugal, isn't it, right now? Hey, I might have to jump off of this really quickly. Let's have a look, let me get the score up. Guys, we could be cutting this really short. Hey, it's 2-1, half time. Oh, the boy Cristiano. Oh, 2 own goals as well. Jesus. Where am I from? I'm from England. I am from the south. I'm in Devon, where we've got a beautiful, beautiful seaside. Hey, I tell you what, Julie, they are the best days. They're the best days. So Julie just said about, it took a long time to do a drawing, but they are the best days when you can just completely drift off for a while and get lost in your design. And by the end of it, you end up hopefully with something that you like, but you just had fun doing it. I used to spend a lot more time before all of this sort of stuff where, quite a lot of it's like this. It's kind of like simple illustrations to an extent. But I used to draw a lot longer designs as well, and they used to be amazing. Like, I used to love spending that time, just disappear for a while, and always really fun. Every time I follow a tutorial, I have to pause and rewind. It takes me so too long. I think everybody does, to be honest with you. So just in case you are new here and you've never seen this before, I do Procreate content every single week. So if you are new in the chat, you can, if you subscribe, you get Procreate content every single week. So if you want some tutorials to follow along with, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you'd like to get some extra tutorials, if you've already started getting through all of my tutorials over on YouTube, you can get extra tutorials on my Patreon. So that's always something you can get some more content from if you want. Right, so now I'm going to start adding in some extra lighting. So I think the lighting primarily is going to be yellow. I'm not sure about these beams yet, and I'm actually not even sure about the yellow. I think I'm going to change that. I think I'm going to drag the purple in as well, try and keep it kind of uniformed. Oh, that looks better. That looks better. Lots better. Love that. What can we do next? Let's just scroll through these. Add looks pretty good. Adding a lot of focus right here at the very bottom. I love that. Okay, cool. Let's start shading in or highlighting some edges of this stuff. So I'm going to reduce my brush size all the way down. Cheers everybody, saying looks good, appreciate that. By the way, your tutorials made me love drawing again. You shared my drawings once on Instagram. Since then, I drew a lot of original stuff as well. Oh, Richard, that's awesome. Do you know, who did I answer with this question earlier actually? Somebody said to me, like, I can't remember what it was, but that was it. It was This is not a plug, I promise. But it was in the Patreon Facebook group, and they said that, you know, they saw the tutorial, they saw what I was doing, and then they took the techniques and did their own thing. And to be honest with you, that is absolutely prime for me. That is exactly what I want to achieve. If I can make somebody have the creativity or the idea or some sort of spark to go, oh, that'd look really good, that's a good idea, that's all I want. I think as long as you guys are getting some sort of creativity, and like Richard just said there, you're also finding your creativity again, that's what it's all about. Look how nice that looks in there, that little highlight in there. I might blur it afterwards. I just want to see what all of them would look like if I add in this highlight. Could look pretty cool. What I'm doing is, I'm just going to show you how I'm doing. Oh, and Infinite's here as well, patron. Thank you for being here. Always, I think you're always the first one to complete my tutorials. I get a notification say, Infinite sent you a message, and I'm like, he's nailed it already. Smashed it. Every single time. Look how this is coming to life now. So that's just a really simple technique. Because I've got very simple shapes, you can create an underlighting shadow super easy. So I'm going to show you with the circle here. All you want to do is duplicate, especially if it's a circle like this one here. So I'm going to swipe this one to the left and duplicate it. I'm going to first of all change the color to the purple. And then all you do is just simply tap on it and use clipping mask and then drag it down. Where's your lighting coming from? It's coming from the bottom, so you can start to create some sort of underglow like that, but you may have to adjust it in this case, you know, make it slightly smaller or adjust it in some sort of way that we create that underglow, something like that. Now this one I'm going to have to readjust in a second, but you know, you create like these lines here. Some shapes work perfectly straight off the bat, but otherwise you can create some sort of little underglows, which is pretty cool. Tracy, I struggled to tag you on Facebook or Insta. You can tag me on Insta pretty easily. I think you can, yeah, you can tag me on Instagram. Facebook, I'm not sure how that works because I've got a Facebook page, like it's a business page, so I'm not sure you can unless you like, but Tracy, I know you've liked the page, so I'm not sure what's going on there, to be honest. As a teen, I used to draw a lot on paper, but nothing since then until I got my M1. Ah, you said that, Richard. You're just flexing on everybody there. That is the biggest flex. I would love the new one, to be honest with you. That would be really awesome. I mean, the power of that thing as well. That is, you've got some real longevity there inside that one. So that's a hell of a good investment in my eyes. Just adding in that little undershadow here in all of the shapes. If this isn't full-time, what is your day job? My day job, I think I mentioned it a second ago, is I prototype and design apps for a company, and they deal with then lots of individuals. So they deal with startup companies, they deal with big businesses, they deal with everything in between. So it's pretty fun. I do really enjoy it. I used to work in retail prior to that, but then took that opportunity, and it's awesome. I love it because I like to, as you can probably tell, it's the name, it's the slogan, the whole thing. I like to be creative, like literally always. So it's really fun to have that fun, because essentially, so I'll give you some sort of insight. I have to take from on paper somebody's concept and then build a prototype off of it, and then designs based on company colours and all that sort of stuff afterwards. So I'm constantly creating something, whether it's a prototype or designs. So it's always fun, always fun. Where do we go from? Can you tell me can you tell me how you did the light, which is becoming darker and darker if it's far away? Both lights on the left and right. Oh, sorry. So essentially what I did was I created a triangle, and then I just used the eraser and the soft airbrush, and I just erased this edge, basically. So now it's nice and bright down here and fades out towards the top. Look how that lighting's really coming along with that. That's looking awesome. Hey, the bank helps buy everybody's stuff. Yeah. Everybody's got to get it somehow. Let's duplicate that. What do I need to do here? I need to fill this one really. Know when to go to wand. Know when you go to the wand, there is opacity. I don't have that. When I go to the wand? What do you mean, Tracy? When I go to the wand. What's up, Kavya? How you doing? No problem, really. No problem at all. Right, so let me clip and mask this one, and then again, I'm going to nudge this up a few pixels. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Look at that. We've got the shadows in there, nice. The highlights even. Magic. If you didn't know that as well, you can tap 1 or 2, like every time you tap, it moves it up a pixel. So you just tap, and then you can move that up and get all your nice highlights in there. On the right of the wrench, so I go here, on the right of the wrench. What did you say before? When you go to a wand, there is opacity. I don't have that. On the right. Oh, you don't have this one, adjustments. Tracy, are you using Procreate Pocket or are you using Procreate on the iPad? Richard, gotta go. Have fun, you guys. I'd love to do more live sessions in the future. Yeah, absolutely. Richard, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. I'm gonna give way more notice next time. I'll probably like chuck a link up on my Instagram story as well to download a palette ahead of time, and then we'll just do it all live together. So I think we'll that'll be really fun. We'll definitely make sure to get through that all together. But thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Oh, it's adjustments, yeah. You don't have that. That's really interesting. I'll tell you what, Tracy, if you send me a screenshot on Instagram, I'll try and somehow help you out with that, but I'm not sure why you wouldn't have that. And thank you, everybody, if you are spending some time in here tonight. Why did that sound? That sounded like I was about to, like, I don't know, announce some sort of like late night show or something. It sounded really weird, but yeah, thank you, everybody, if you are just spending some time in it. Just watching me sort of doodle away really, but also we are getting there. And this one here, fill that one, and then use these spokes and move them all up a few. Oh, that is coming along. This is going to actually make a really good tutorial. It's going to make a really, really good tutorial. That looks good. So I'll tell you what I'm now going to do is I'm going to shade in and highlight one of these cabins, and then I'll duplicate them again all the way around one more time. So I'm going to delete that one. Looks super unproductive, but it's actually the best way to do it, because if I highlight and shadow this one once, then the whole thing's done. So, no worries. 0. What did I say to you before? Looks great. Let's alpha lock this one, and let's just, what do I want to do? I've got quite solid highlights here, so I've got to try and balance this out. I don't want to use the airbrush unless I need to. You know, if I can try and add in some highlights under here that are very, it will stick to the same style then as the rest, where the highlights are basically quite thick lines instead. And then I need to add in a corresponding shadow color. So maybe I add in like a dark blue. The problem is I need to make sure that that's on a new layer, not actually on that layer. Yeah, potentially you've got a different version of Procreate, Tracy, potentially. Be interesting to see when I jump over there and have a look. How many people have got in here? We've got 8, magic, that's cool. I'm going to give way more notice next time, but I appreciate everybody being here. Very cool to get this done with you guys. So see that should be lighting, and it is purple, so it is correct, but it feels a bit too dark, and that feels a bit too dark as well, so maybe go even lighter. Oh, thank you, Zero, appreciate that. You are more than welcome for me being here. You guys are the reason I'm here, so... Anyway, how's everybody else's day? Nobody cares about me doing this too much. How's everybody else's day? What's everybody been doing today? Anything fun? Has anybody been drawing today? Also, my other YouTube tutorial just went live, so if you want to go drop a like on that, I'd really appreciate it if you get a couple of seconds just to do that. Helps the video out a ton, so that'd be really helpful if you could do that for me. Now that is perfect. The problem I don't like is I feel like the red is too bright, like this is too bright. So maybe let's try and darken this down. Let's just lower the tone of it down a tad. That was too much. Also, that ended up going orange for some reason, so let's go back in and select the correct colour. Let's just tone it down a few shades. Much better, much better. It's always like a balancing act with your colours. You don't want them to be too poppy. Are you keeping the red colour? I'm going to keep the red. I'm also going to use yellow as well. But what I've done is my highlights are all on one layer. So what I can do is for each one all the way around, I can change the colour pretty easily and independently as well. So now I'm going to go in and add in the same highlight colour as again. Let's delete that because I want to make sure I keep the palette, and so I can use it later on if we end up doing a little tutorial on this, which I think I will. Let's make sure I'm actually doing my job correctly. Let's go across there. And then maybe some inner lighting here. No, where's the bars gone? See, these ones I can alpha lock and just simply add in a little bit of a lighting in there. That's fine as is. It's 10 AM here. I'm drawing, but should be doing housework 10 AM. Whereabouts are you based then, Bethany? How far ahead is that? 4 hours? And we got 21 likes on this video as well. I appreciate that a lot. If you get a second, if you could also like this video, that would be magic. Really appreciate it. YouTube loves likes, so the more likes I can get, the better. Helps throw the videos out to more people. Love that. Okay, this is actually looking really nice, very nice. So let's start duplicating it and moving it around. I'm pretty happy with how that looks, so I'm gonna start to position it all the way around. And before I go any further, I want to try and change the yellow to try and make sure that I like where we're going with this. So I'm going to change it to yellow first. Take a look at what I've done. Now that's too bright, way too bright. So, Oregon, USA. 10 AM. Oh, of course, it's in the morning, isn't it? Sorry, miles away there. So you got a nice full day ahead of you. It is 6 PM here. What do we reckon? I actually don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Love that. Okay, cool. So let's start duplicating the sort of carriages all the way around. What should we call? What are they? Carriages? Let's not call them cages, but what are they? Yeah, so carriages. Really enjoyed doing this, guys. I really have. I think I need to think about how we can do this again and also keep the speed kind of quick, because obviously I've been on here now an hour. Not really got as far as I would hope in terms of the design, but I really like the idea of still doing YouTube, well, doing lives in general, but trying to make sure that you guys get some extra cool content and some fun with the chat as well. So let's let me just think about how I can start to incorporate this into the week, and maybe we'll end up doing another one pretty soon. So where is the first one? It's up here. So everything else I need to group together. Using groups, you can easily like duplicate a ton of content, flip it horizontally, and then save yourself some time. Nice. And let's go ahead and duplicate this one more time too. Can someone tell me how to like a video while he's live? Can't figure it out. Oh, good question. I'll let somebody else answer that. Will I upload this tutorial? I'm probably going to do it as a tutorial. I might leave this VOD up. I'm not sure. It's not the greatest content in terms of it's not obviously been nicely structured in any way, and obviously I've been having a good chat with the chat. So, but I like the idea of doing it as a tutorial. So I might do this again on like midweek this week. Should we do it midweek? It's probably a good idea. I've been doing text tutorials midweek quite a bit, so I think this would actually be really cool to do midweek. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And that's actually really cool. I'm really happy with how that's actually coming along. What do I want to add in? Let's add in, should we add in some fireworks in the sky? Let's do that. Let's add in some fireworks. I want to keep it relatively clean and minimal to an extent. I don't want to go too wild with adding too much content. So yeah, okay, cool. Let's do it midweek. So you guys are essentially getting a super early sneak peek. Yeah, Julie, if I'm honest, all of you are completely ruining this video. I can't concentrate. You're just nattering too much. It's far too much. You know, you guys have got to calm it down. I'm trying to do a job here. It's just outrageous. It's not good enough. I'm only joking. I want to see how long I could keep that without thinking, Christ, I think they're all going to end up abandoning this chat in a second. Right, so this is a drawing assisted layout. I'm going to draw in a nice little firework in the sky here. Tracy's the worst for it. She just doesn't stop. Just natter, natter, natter. That's far too subtle. Just don't go reporting this now, because I'll end up, you know, channel will be taken down. I'll have to explain myself to somebody at Google. I've had a report, sir, that you are bullying your subscribers. Well, I'm trying to do a job. Look how cool this little firework's gonna look when we finish this one up. So let's just repeat this out here. Look how fun that is. Tell you what, let's remove the center. Don't like the center. Let's turn off the drawing guide as well so we can get an idea of that. Look how cool that looks. Let's do another one. Let's do a different one. I'm going to keep the drawing assist on and keep it in the same position. Let's do a white one, we'll do a red one as well. I want to do 3 different versions. Let's turn that one off. Tracy, I've got no idea. I'll try and help you out when I come off of this, but fingers crossed it's a nice easy fix. I can't imagine, to be honest with you, it's something that we're going to have to turn on and off. I think it like somebody else said before, it's probably down to the version you have. It's not something that I would imagine Procreate would have actually turned off for certain users, so that's not a good shape, Joel. That's not good shape either. Let's readjust. Let's go back in. Oh, press just a bit too hard there. Look at this, you're getting a live compilation of just me messing up. Try and round that off a little bit better. Julie, Tracy Ford, go to your gallery and click on, very good. Okay, cool. Cheers Bethany, thank you. Thank you guys. Appreciate all of you and all of your help with everybody, I love it. Let's create one more. I'll turn that one off for a second and come back to it. We use the red. I'm coming back for every live from now on. Thanks. Let's do it. Let's make it more. Oh, jeez. Come on, Joel. It's a drawing assisted layer. Turn it on. I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger this time. Oh, that looks like a nice shape there, where we've got the stroke and then the little pop at the end. Cool. Let's move these around. Let's turn off the drawing guide. We don't need that on right now. Let's position this where we want it. So maybe one up here. Let's turn on the other two. Let's grab the white one. Now the problem with this is we don't want it, because we've got three, I might have to duplicate it and make them maybe some smaller, some bigger. So you don't end up with like trying to, if I left it with three, it's going to look lopsided in one way or another. So I'm going to, first of all, as I mentioned before, we want this one firstly to be nice and central, and then we'll work the rest around it. So we'll get the red one, let's pop it over here somewhere. Let's go ahead and grab the yellow one and pop it up here somewhere. And then let's duplicate one of the others. So let's maybe duplicate the yellow one, but if we alpha lock it and I fill it with white, select white, fill that layer and grab my cursor. So we're reusing a shape, but we're changing the color. Let's pop it down here somewhere, and then let's duplicate the red one and maybe even leave it as red actually, and then make it smaller and pop it just over here. Again, I'm trying to avoid that level of symmetry where it feels relatively forced. So maybe move that one down. Let's grab this one. Where's this white one gone? Select yellow. I'm gonna just fill that in. Better. Drag that into position maybe here. Scale it down. That looks cool. Sorry, I've been ignoring all of you. To be fair, you're pretty distracting as well. Love the fireworks magic. Yeah, thank you. That's looking pretty good, isn't it? It's looking good. The only thing I want to start messing around with is these little beams here. I want to start to just see if I can just add in a subtle bit of extra colour, or maybe even duplicate them. So for example, I'm going to go to my layers now, and this is the one. I'm going to swipe it to the left and duplicate it, and then just scroll through the layer options until that's something I was trying to look for. Something that will just add in a bit of a brighter colour, something that's really going to add in some extra lighting and more focal point, and just a brighter touch to the design. So that looks pretty cool. Colour dodge, you could just lower it down slightly. That looks pretty cool. And then I'll tell you what we could do is, if I was to duplicate the bottom one, let's actually erase 1/2. So let me show you what I'm doing. I'm going to erase 1/2. Let's actually go to the eraser. Let's go to the hard blend. Make it nice and big. And let's delete this. I think in the future I'm also going to try and make sure I go live on all the platforms at the same time. I need to try and work out possibilities of doing that. But you know, if I was live on Instagram, live on TikTok, live on YouTube all at the same time, I think that would be really fun. Now that's coming to life. Let's swipe back to the left and duplicate and flip it horizontally. What's happened to the music? Where's this going? This is a YouTube video just playing in the background, so I'll leave this up on YouTube. I know you guys are pretty keen for it, so apologies if you are following along afterwards. I'm going to redo this again at another date, but this actually looks so cool that I think I might even take this VOD down, and then we'll end up with a really fun design. I can refine it as well, because these carriages I now don't like the colours of. I don't like the under colours of them. I'd probably even make them black now. Shall I just see what that even looks like real quick while let's test it on the top one. So if I was to make this like the dark colour, let's make it like the blue. Alpha lock it, fill it. Oh, that looks so much better. Does that look so much better or not, actually? Let's fill it in purple maybe, try that. That looks better. That looks a lot better. Because now we've got the reds and the yellows, but we've also got reds and yellows in the sky as well. So the problem with that is you're throwing your main colour around too much. So I think I'm going to change the colour of all of this. Now, if you are following along with this, actually, you're a hero, because I've gone backwards and forwards. You're actually seeing the full design process here to an extent of what I would normally do all the time. You know, just go back in, refine the layer, change the layer, go back in, don't like the colour, let's make it better. So now I'm going to fill all of these in this purple instead. I think that looks a bunch better. Let me have a look at the chat as well. I know my name is how would you pronounce it? Tarkisio? I'm gonna go with Tarkisio. And I'm a big fan of yours. Many greetings from Sicily. I really love your artwork. Thank you, and thank you for most likely being a subscriber as well. If you're not, hit the subscribe button, everybody. It's free and helps me out a bunch. Right, let's change all of these to purple. And I think after that I may call it a day. I'm not sure. But the good thing that's come from this is I can see that there's a bit of an appetite for it. So I think if I can find a correct day to do it, maybe an afternoon on a Saturday, but then I also have my tutorials that go live, so I don't feel like that's the most efficient thing to do. I'll try and make it work. Maybe something like a Wednesday. Now, you can guarantee I'm going to change my mind when I've seen these colours. What do you reckon, left or right? Oh, Julie, gotta go, but great vid. It's been fun, guys. Thank you, Julie, for being here. Thank you. Appreciate everybody being here. So, have a lovely day wherever you are and enjoy the rest of it. What do we reckon? Really quick though, Julie, if you are still here, left or right, purple or colourful? What do we reckon? Or anybody that's still here. I like the idea of seeing all the decisions that leads us to the awesome art of yours. Yeah, it's a pretty cool I suppose it's pretty interesting for you guys to see, is like you said, the process that probably a lot of us go through, like in terms of the creators. So you're getting like first-hand look at everything, and like the refinement, and where can you go with it? What could you add? What's the last little touch that in your mind says that's enough, I've done it now? Tracy says purple. I agree as well. I think the purple does look better. So delete that, swipe that to left, duplicate. Oh, I've hit my maximum layers. This is one thing I'm going to have to try and keep in mind, is the layer count. Let's see if I've done enough now to duplicate that. I think what we'll end up doing is we'll all end up creating a sort of pod each, and then just duplicate it but flatten the whole thing together once we're done and got the colours in place. That looks nice. That looks really cool. Oh, Bethany said, right, you like the red and yellow. Ay. Oh, low battery as well. Good sign to call it a day soon. Purple. I tell you what, I mean, the thing is with this is like, especially when I come to do it as a tutorial, everybody will be able to add their own spin on it. So that's going to be really fun to do. I'm actually going to flatten that layer so I've got loads more to play with. And then really quick, let's try and mess around with these fireworks in the background. let me flip horizontally just to try and switch it up, and then let's maybe even lower the opacity down on these ones. Just these are the little things that somebody just mentioned a second ago of like that I always go through is what's left, what could I add in, what's the final little extra touches, is this too much, is this, have I gone too far, what's the simple last thing I can do. I think the other thing I quite like to do is just look at the very background here, because see again, just turning layers on and off and you start to see how the lighting's affecting the sky, all of that sort of stuff. You know, how can you then go about affecting that? So now I've changed the background into a solid colour. What if I swipe these fireworks to the left now and then blur them out? What could we see here? If I blur these out, I think we may have just gone in a different direction. In a good way. Gauge and blur these out a little bit more. Ooh. What's up, Swift Gamer? How you doing? Thank you for joining. I'm just having some final fun on this. That looks so much better. What do you reckon, guys? Do you reckon, so like this, first of all, the fireworks are now glowing because I've got a nice darker background for them to sit on top of? Or do we reckon with this background here? So I need to see in the chat, with or without? What do you reckon? Because I think that looks pretty good without, but don't be swayed by me. I think that looks pretty good like that. And I really want to punch these colours out even more. Gauge and blur. What could I do to get these really punching? Maybe scroll through until I find maybe add or... Without the darker one. You reckon the darker one? That does look pretty good. It looks a lot closer, doesn't it, in terms of like what it should actually depict, you know, a night fair. Let's try and make this bigger. Let's see how that looks. Do you know what, guys? I think we've done it. I think that's it. And if I was going to spend even longer on this, I'd add some of the explosion colours into the grass down here. Just, again, this is the process of trying to work out, is it going to be too much? Also, this has got to be a tutorial for somebody to do at some point, so I need to bear in mind how much content we're adding in here. So let's just drag that down. And if I was to do something like this, where let's just flatten the colours down to something like that, and then maybe motion blur them. And then clip that to the grass. And then maybe duplicate that a few times just to try and get some colour out of it. That's looking pretty cool. If you do a gauge and blur, then do some other work and decide you want to blur less, except going back over your work. Is there a way to do that? No, there isn't. But what I always do in my own personal work is, if I was going to just draw something, I always like to duplicate the layer. If I in that example, Tracy, I would have duplicated the layer and kept hold of it, because I don't want to. In the same sort of. I kind of know in my mind if I think I'm going to end up changing it. I'll know if I think I'm going to end up changing it. So I'll duplicate it, keep a copy of it, and just turn it off in my layers and just leave it there. So look at that, Julie came back. Look at that, whatever that was, quick toilet break or a cup of tea. She's back already. Swamped her dinner down, ready to come back in. We got King Venny in the house, big fan from Instagram. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming along. Zero, welcome back, Julie. Absolutely. Hey, look how good this is coming out. Look how good this is done. You can see some of the colours I've started to reflect in the bottom here, in the grass. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that extra touch, but maybe for like Instagram and stuff, I think I will. So we've got Lucy G as well. Love your tutorials. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. How are you doing? Is everybody having a grand evening, day, wherever you are? Look how good this come out. This is, I tell you, this is going to be, believe it or not. So one thing I always, so again, some more sort of insight into my mind is, sometimes I really fear making the tutorials in a sense that I don't want them to be, I don't want somebody to look at the thumbnail and think, I can't do that, or that's too much, or that's out of my ability. Because my entire goal with every single tutorial is, if I can get, I feel like I can get everybody to do everything that I create by explaining it and showing the process, and I've already spent some time trying to simplify it. So when I do a design, I always look at it and think, and from a scale of 1 to 10, will somebody look at this right now and go, I can't do that? How am I meant to draw that? But in reality, I think everybody can. So this is actually going to be really easy to do. I think we're going to be able to definitely make something really fun together with this one. And I mean that, I'm very pleased with how that looks. So I think we're good. Daily Entertainer, how you doing? Tracy, last weekend I said to my husband, sorry babe, I'm Joel's all weekend. Then you go telling my girlfriend that in those exact words. Jesus. It's a pleasure to learn from you. Thank you, Lucy, I appreciate that. I'm very pleased with how this has come out so far. Very pleased. Again, spending some time just looking at it. What's the extra touches? What maybe needs to be toned down? What needs to be made brighter? What could we do here to adjust this design? Now, there are certain things that you can look at this and go, okay, there's a few things missing here. First of all, it's also a matter of how far do you want to go with this. So these fireworks are causing big bursts of light that ultimately should be reflected on the carriages around here. So in reality, I should do yellow and colour each edge of that in yellow, red around the edge here, and white around the top. Now, I could spend some time doing that now. I might even do it because we're on live. But for like a YouTube tutorial, I wouldn't go to that level because this fireworks not miles, but it's a fair distance in the background. We don't need to try and take that into consideration too much. But I'm going to do it for this one just to see how it looks. So maybe we'll take a look at that. Maybe as, who just said that? Zero just mentioned, maybe we'll put like a little moon in the background potentially, or even a shooting star. But it's always a matter of, in my mind, I'm always trying to balance what looks too much, what looks, what's taking it to a level that it now looks, not complex, messy. It just looks overly done, overly complicated. What have you mentioned there? Tracy, I appreciate that. So many people do say that they like doing the tutorials because it helps them to chill out. I mean, that's the whole point. I think that's my entire thought process down to the music that I play. You know, I like to put the what's it called? The piano music in there because it's just calming. It's just chill. That's what I want everybody to do. I want them to come along, just chill, take it easy. So let's move that across. So what I did there just very quickly was just duplicated the layer and moved it across because I've got to reflect different bits of lighting on either side. So let's try and do what we said there. Let's try and reflect some lighting in these layers. So maybe let's do it on a clipping mask just so I can delete it if I want to. Daily Entertainer, can you please make a galaxy tutorial? I would love to. I've got some really good ideas for that. I've got a huge document of things I want to do. So there are a lot of stuff coming. So fingers crossed you'll get to see a galaxy tutorial pretty soon. But it's in my to-do list, don't worry about it. It'll come eventually. I've got so many things to do. And we can only do a certain amount of videos per week. So fingers crossed that'll be out soon. So this is what I'm on about. Maybe add in a little bit of yellow here just to reflect the firework that's going on and going off, should I say, in behind. Let's do the same on the right hand side as well. Let's just reflect a little bit of red on these edges here, which sometimes these are the steps that make your design really come together. It brings every single item of the design in together, and then tries to how, you know, this nicely now interacts with the fireworks that are going on in the background. So you end up really incorporating everything together. Oh, Zero, you didn't have to delete your message. I think you mentioned about removing the fireworks for a moon in the background. It's a good suggestion. Don't have to delete your message at all. Absolutely not. It's a great suggestion. Let's create a new layer here as well. Joel, please also make a how to cartoon yourself. Personally, I don't tend to do that myself very often anyway. I may, in that case, I would probably like recommend somebody else, to be honest with you. Somebody who does it all the time, because, and I'll tell you why, because cartooning, there's certain techniques that you practice all the time because of just repetition. So you learn how, you know, what eye shapes do you want to do? What things will really help your design go to another level? You know, I tell you what, a good person, again, I'm going to plug his account again, his channel is Drug-Free Dave. Don't know where the name came from, none of my business, but Drug-Free Dave, his illustrations of like the eye work he does with some of the like cartoon characters that he draws, the eyes look fantastic. You know, when you get that like Pixar look to them, they've got a nice little glossy look, like if you were to imagine what Woody's eyes looks like from Toy Story, they end up having that really glossy look to them. He nails that every time. So go and check Drug-Free Dave. I'm not sure if he's ever got any tutorials on it, but I would imagine he does, because he's really good at it. So go check out Drug-Free Dave on YouTube, Instagram as well. So, and good friend actually, spoke to him a few times. Very, very nice to talk to. So that's also really cool to see, you know. Again, little insight is like speaking to other creators, because I don't have a problem with talking to any other creator at all. If they want to reach out to me or discuss something or whatever, and I've got no problem as well discussing something with them. For example, last tutorial that just went up, I saw a technique from Tati Works, which you should all know who she is. She's a fantastic YouTuber who does lots of great texture work with Procreate, and reached out to her and just said, listen, I saw your effect on how to create this stroke around the outside. I just want to make sure you're happy with me shouting you out in my next video, because all credit where credit is due. So we you know, all of that stuff, I love that stuff. I love the people being, you know, just generally nice, you know. Let's have a look at what we've got going on here. Now the only question I have now is, are these beams maybe too bright, ever so slightly too bright? Do I need to lower the opacity down of this lower one, which is going to bring in a lot of blue? Because I think that might be a little bright now. And I kind of want to change the focus a little bit. The lighting coming off these fireworks onto these little pods actually looks unreal. Like, I think that looks, that is that last extra touch that I was talking to you about, of just making sure how you can bring the very last few touches together to really pop your design. And I think this little bit round here, especially this white here that trails into the white, the yellow and the red, that's going to look awesome. Bethany, lower the opacity. Yeah, you know, that adds a lot more focus to the top area in terms of they are the brightest items, and just, you still get that fairground look to the bottom of it, but I think that looks good. There's also loads more we could get into in terms of just how we could shade, you know, maybe the pods here and stuff, but as a tutorial, I think that's going to look really good. I think let's just take a look at the layers. Let's have a look at where we are with, I don't think that this needs to be here on the grass underneath. I think that's a touch too far, but let's duplicate it a few times and mess with the settings. It's too much. It's unnecessary to have this glow down here. Yeah, I agree, Julie. I think that's the little extra touch that will really make that pop. So, daily instant. Okay, bye, Joe. I need to recharge. No worries. You have a lovely day. You have a lovely day, Bethany. I like the low opacity. Oh, Bethany, I love Tatty Works. Yeah, she's unbelievable. She's great. I feel like sometimes there's like a real stigma about like maybe trying to like compliment somebody else on YouTube, or you know, making people aware of, I don't know, quote unquote the competition. But for me, I don't care. Like, if somebody's good at what they do, they need just, you know, you could really open up somebody who's maybe been looking for a creator like that. You know, Tatty's work is the time she puts into her brushes, like with all the different textures. It's like literally like mind-boggling, because she I assume she does it full time, but the work she puts into that is just mad, and it's an unbelievable work ethic to create all those textures all the time. So I think, guys, I really think we're there. I don't think there's any changes I think I really want to make anymore. I'm just trying to just adjust little bits just to make sure we're not missing one particular thing. But I think that looks pretty cool. I think I'll end up popping that on Instagram shortly, and a sneak peek, but that looks cool. Very cool. Bethany, let's see your message come in here. Sorry, it's a bit delayed on my computer, but I can see it on my phone. I've only been using Procreate for 6 months, but I found the Instagram Procreate crowd is extremely supportive and love to celebrate other artists. I completely agree, and I tell you why I agree, and I think I know kind of why. There's quite a bit of a financial investment in getting Procreate, an iPad, a pencil, the whole lot. And for somebody who has put that level of investment in, you're quite enthusiastic about it, and I think it keeps the community to an extent quite positive because everybody's enthusiastic. And it's one of the points that I would, if somebody said to me, Joel, why should I get Procreate, or why should I start drawing with it? I have a video already planned for this, but there are the community aspects of Procreate. It's ridiculous. So again, not that I'm plugging anything in particular for him, but Joel.create Dave has a Facebook group, and there's loads of Facebook groups, also loads and loads of them, but he has one called Procreate Tutorials, where he lets other artists such as myself, and Tati is another one who's in there, and what's his name, is it Julian or Jude, can't remember his name, but he's unbelievable at his art, but post tutorials in there. And there's a real, he doesn't keep it locked down to just himself, he lets all of us post our tutorials, so that's a great group. So sorry, Daily Entertainment, I think I already said, you mentioned that you were leaving to recharge. Have a lovely day. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. Helps everybody out, and I thank everybody who just everybody who's popped in for a little while today. Really appreciate it. Julian James, that's the one. Julian James Tracy, that's the one. But yeah, everybody's really enthusiastic, everybody's really supportive, and I think it's quite eye-opening. And also, I mean, I can't tell you enough how much my patrons are like one of the biggest inspirations to an extent, as well as obviously everybody on YouTube and the comments especially. But like, those people come to me and are happy to part with a little bit of cash to support me, but also obviously I'll give as much back as I can, and I want to give even more back. But like, that level of enthusiasm, like to do that, like to my friends sometimes they're like, why would people do that? You've got your YouTube, and I also give pretty good tutorials over there on Patreon, but they're unbelievable. The comments you get from them are so supportive, and they really keep you motivated 100%. The days where I'm like, I can't be bothered to draw today, but they switch it around quite quickly. So big shout out to, I think we've got Tracy in here. Bethany is a brand new patron. Appreciate everybody. I can't remember everybody's name either, to be honest. Julie, I can't remember. Are you a patron? I can't remember. Let me have a look. Let me load it up. He might be. Let's have a look. Julie. oh no, not so much a patron, but anyway, regardless, you're a massive supporter in here today. Like that, this is the stuff I love. Like the support that you guys give me, just overly nice. You know, I want to give back as much as possible. So fingers crossed, one day we can do it full time, and we can maybe up the amount of tutorials every week. You know, all that other content as well. And there's loads of things I've got planned should that day ever come. So keep working hard, and I'll get there. But anyway. My husband works from home. Oh, sorry, Tracy, I missed your messages there. I'm still new to Procreate, and I love the support from other people. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And my husband works from home for 8 hours a day, and I Procreate 8 hours a day. Lol, I'm a patron. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you. Tracy, you've been around for a while now as well. You're always pretty quick on the tutorials as well, and also always sharing them in the Facebook group as well, which I love. So it's all good. Anyway, we are looking at this design, and I think I'm done. I don't think the only thing I would mess with is additional colours, but I don't want to take away from these colours here. Then what we've ended up achieving here looks pretty good. I'm going to maybe just look at the this glow here. Let's merge them together. I just want to see if I can hue it and maybe turn it slightly pink to just see how that affects the rest of the design. Actually, let's just go through the whole spectrum. Blue doesn't look too bad. Get through into like some oranges. Don't think that's the colour. Blue doesn't look bad at all down here. I think that quite adds quite a bit. Oh, getting close to the end of the battery. That pink, maybe boost the saturation. No, that's not it. I quite like the blue a little bit. But again, I don't want to take away, so I'm going to leave that as is. Let's actually listen to myself for a change. Anyway, so that is the. I'm gonna call it a day on this design anyway. Oh, where have we gone? Procreate. Let's go back. Procreate. That's the. I'm gonna make sure this is a tutorial coming up soon. We got some really nice firework looks in there as well. This Ferris wheel obviously looks pretty cool. Nice little focal point as well. Something fun to do a tutorial around, and quite a lot easier than you expect. Once I've nailed down the grass that we're going to use, as well as the palette completely, because I need to grab all these colours, we can we've got a really fun tutorial there to crack on with. So I think that's going to look really good. I think that's going to look really cool. Has anybody got any other questions at all before I sort of sign off for this? I think that's come out really good, really fun. Very pleased with how that looks. Let's have a look. Let me just whack my little watermark over the top as well, so I can post it on Instagram and stuff. I do have planned as well little tutorials as well. I think Tracy might have even mentioned this potentially on Patreon, but about creating stamps. You know, I want to show people how to do that as well. So, but there are already tutorials out there, so I would just end up repeating them. But I'll make sure to get round to that sort of stuff as well. I want to do lots of little how-tos. I think that'll be really cool. Looking forward to the tutorial. Can't wait for the tutorial. Thanks for this. Hey, no problem at all. Do you know what? I've really enjoyed this. Thank you, everybody. I've really enjoyed it. I'll definitely try and do some more, and fingers crossed we can work out a day. I kind of like a Saturday evening, but I don't want to take away from my YouTube tutorials that go up. So I've really enjoyed it. So if anybody's got any other questions, please, let me know. Otherwise, just drop me a link on. Drop me a question on Instagram if you've got any. Julie, sorry, can't wait to try this one again. Thanks again. Looks great. I take it your Patreon is just Joel.create. Yes, you can search Joel.create on Patreon. Do you know what? Can I? No, I can't. If you go to, I think it's in the description of literally any video that you can find of mine. I think it's right at the very top. So, but I always say you don't have to do any of that. I'm doing YouTube regardless. We're gonna get all your tutorials on YouTube. Patreon's just if you want that little bit of extra content every month, a little behind the scenes as well. Now and again, I post sort of stuff like that. And in the future, I may end up doing these live streams just for patrons, because I do have the ability with the YouTube lives to do them so that we can I can just give a private link out. So that, I think that'll be really fun for the patrons as well. So Tracy, thank you. I appreciate your support as always. And this is what I mean. I mean, Claire's also another one of the patrons. That she's a huge supporter. Oh God, so you guys are going to kill me if I end up saying other people's names that are not your own. But Claire, Laura, LD Digital Art, a huge supporter. Scouse Trooper, he's awesome. He is like funny, is like ridiculously funny as well. He's always sending me some funny DMs and stuff. So yeah, it's awesome. Great work. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to have some dinner. I've been going on here quite a while now, nearly 2 hours for you guys. So I hope you've had a lovely evening. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evenings, your days, wherever you are in the world. Like I said, I'm going to make sure I try and schedule some of this in again. So everybody have a lovely day, lovely evening wherever you are. And let's sign off with the normal. I'll see you in the next one, I guess. So see you later.